Jai Gurudev and welcome to all my students. We are going to start another new chapter today. So before starting the chapter, I want to tell you something. See, first when we started doing mathematics, we started learning about simple addition, subtraction of numbers. We started doing about profit and loss, this addition of fractions, these things. So these things coming under a branch of mathematics that is known as arithmetics. Then we started about a b c x y z means expression of these things. So dealing with that things, that also comes under another branch of mathematics that is known as algebra. Then we started learning line, rays, angles. That comes under the branch of mathematics geometry. So there are different another branch by the way, that is statistics also you come to know, like data, frequency, these things, frequency distribution table. So that comes under the branch of mathematics that is known as statistics. So today we are going to study about another branch of mathematics that is called coordinate geometry. Now in 17th century, a French mathematician come philosopher René Descartes first discovered about coordinate geometry while he was lying on his bed. He suddenly discovered about René Descartes. He has given the first initial idea about coordinate geometry. So if you want to know about René Descartes more, you can Google. Okay, now today we will learn about how to deal with coordinate geometry, or what is the application of coordinate geometry. Now to learn how to deal with coordinate geometry and how does coordinate geometry comes to act, let us understand through an example. In our school classroom, basically we see there are 4 columns of benches. I hope all of you in your own classroom also you have 4 columns of columns, 4 columns of benches, and there are several rows of benches. In every row there are 7 or 8 benches. So suppose these are the benches in every column. In every column. So how many column we have? We have 4 columns. And how many row we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 rows and 4 columns. Now suppose someone, a girl called Seema is sitting here. A girl named Seema is sitting here. Now a teacher asks a student, you find the location of Seema. So what the students can say? Sir, Seema is sitting on, you see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So how can you find the location of Seema? You can say, sir, Seema is sitting on 3rd row and 3rd column. You see, 3rd row and the 1, 2, 3, 3rd column. So if you want to find the location of Seema, you can say 3rd column, 3rd row. Suppose another boy called Ram is sitting here. So how can you find the location of Ram? You can say Ram is sitting on 2nd row. You see, 2nd row and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2nd row, 2nd column, 5th row. 2nd column and 5th row. So this is how we can find the location of the boys or girls sitting in a particular classroom. Now you see, this is the example of how to find the location of a student in a class. And similarly, similarly we can find the location of a point in a plane. A plane means, suppose this whiteboard. This whiteboard you can imagine as a plane, and in a plane there are lots of points are there. In a plane there are lots of points, and we can find the location of every unique point by the help of coordinate geometry. We can find the location of every point by the help of coordinate geometry, and the points also will be written in a such manner how we have written the position of how we have found the location of the student sitting in a classroom. Suppose this is a plane, so this is a plane, and every dot is a point. Since it's a classroom and there are lots of rows and benches, rows and columns are there of benches, and we can, if individual is a student, we can find the location of the student. Already we have seen that. And similarly we can find the location of a point in a plane similarly. So this is the basic idea of coordinate geometry. Rene, as I have told you earlier also, that is the Rene Descartes, the French mathematician cum philosopher, first introduced about coordinate geometry. So Descartes also invented the idea of placing two such lines perpendicular to each other, that is horizontal and vertical. So first Descartes introduced two lines, two lines, that is one is horizontal, another is vertical. Two line perpendicular to each other, one is horizontal line, another is, this is horizontal line and this is vertical line, to represent the, as I have told you earlier also, that is to find the location of a point you need to count a column and you need to count a row. Similarly Descartes, to represent the location of a point, he has introduced two lines, one is horizontal, another is vertical. And where the point of intersection of vertical and horizontal line is known as origin. The point of intersection of the horizontal and the vertical line, that is known as origin, and at the origin everything will be count 0 0. See, when we have studied about number line also, you can remember, when we have studied about number line, you see at the middle we have 0. And when we are studying about integers, you can remember the right side was indicated as for the positive integers, and the left side also indicated for the negative integers. Similarly here also you see one horizontal line, that is xo x dash. The horizontal line is xo x dash, and the vertical line, that is y o y dash, that is for the vertical line. See, similarly as the study we have studied in the integer chapter, the right side is for the positive integers and the left side is for the negative integers. Similarly the top is for the positive. One is, as I have told you earlier, that is to find the location of a point you need two values, one is row, another is column. So similarly Rene Descartes also thought as for two lines, that is one is horizontal, another is vertical. So that is represented how. Now these two, that is xo x dash and yo y dash, xo x dash and yo y dash, the two horizontal and basic vertical line, they are known as the axis. The horizontal, that is xo x dash, is also known as x axis, and the vertical, that is yo y dash, that is also known as y axis. Okay, so the horizontal line is known as x-axis and the vertical line is known as y-axis. And you see now by, and the point of the intersection is known as the origin. Now by drawing the two vertical and the horizontal line, we have got four separate parts. You can see the four separate parts, and each part is known as a quadrant. Each part is known as a quadrant. So by drawing the x-axis and y-axis, we have got four separate parts. Each part is known as a quadrant. And this is known as first quadrant, this is second quadrant, this is third quadrant, and this is fourth quadrant. Each part is known as a quadrant, and we have got four separate quadrants. Now you see the first quadrant. In the first quadrant, you see in the first quadrant you see it is made of, the first quadrant is made of this OX and OY. So since the first quadrant is made of OX and OY, that means the OX means the positive value of X. You can see it is very clearly, it is written 1 2 3, that is -1 -2, like this. It is 1 2, it is -1 -2. So that is the first quadrant is made of OX and OY, that is the positive value of X and also the positive value of Y. That means the point lying in this quadrant will be having both the numbers will be having positive symbols. Why? In this area, means in this portion, if any point is lying in this portion, that means that point definitely will have positive symbol. Why? It is made of OX and OY, both are positive. Coming to the second quadrant, you see the second quadrant, it is made of OX dash and OY. That means X is negative and Y is positive. That means the point lying in this segment will have negative, the value of X will be negative and the value of Y will be positive. And point lying on the third quadrant, you see the point lying on third quadrant, OX dash OY dash, that means both are having negative symbols. And the point lying on fourth quadrant having OX, that means the positive value of X, OY dash, that means the negative value of Y. So clearly it is very clear, that is the point. Suppose to make it clear, let me take some examples. Suppose 2, 3, I am taking several kinds of example. -2, 3, -2, -3, and 2, -3. We have taken several different types of number. You see 2, 3, both are positive. You see both are positive. That means this point is lying on first quadrant. X negative, Y positive. You see X negative, Y positive. That means X negative, Y positive. That means this point is lying on second quadrant. Both are negative. You see both are negative. So this point will be lying on the third quadrant. And X positive, Y negative. X positive, Y negative. That means this point is lying on the fourth quadrant. So by looking at the point without drawing, without locating the point in the graph paper, by looking at the point only, at least we can identify, or at least we can say where the point is lying on. That means the point is whether lying on first quadrant or third quadrant or second quadrant or fourth quadrant. By looking at the point only, we can identify where the point is lying on. So what we come to know that is just looking at the point only, we can say where the point is lying on, whether any point is lying on first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, or the fourth quadrant. Now what about any point? I'm taking like suppose 0, 3. I'm taking the live example so that you can understand it clearly. 0, 3 or 3, 0. In the earlier examples we have choose 2 comma 3 minus 2 comma 3 minus 2 minus 3 2 minus 3 means both the having both means both the numbers having other than 0, both the numbers are other than 0. But now what will happen, see that we also know by the way, if both are 0 that is origin for sure. If already it is been discussed earlier, both are 0 though that is origin. But what will happen if either first one is 0, that means x is 0, or either y is 0. See 0 comma 3, that means the value of x is 0. That means basically when we locate any point, first we count the value of x. It is the right side, it is the left side. If it is a positive value, we'll go this side. If it is a negative value, suppose any point 2 comma 1 2 3, suppose 2 comma 3 as I have taken earlier, 2 comma 3, so we will count, see it's positive value, so 1 2, then y is 3, it's positive value, so we will go positive value to this way, because upwards is positive for the y. This is the value of x, this is the value of y. So if x is 2, so 1 2, then y is 3, so 3 is 1 2 3, so we will go this way. But what will happen if having the value like this 0 comma 3? In such cases, since the value of x is 0, so you cannot go anywhere, means 0 is in the origin only. Here is the value of x and y, both are 0. So since the value of x is 0, you cannot go right side, you cannot go left side. Okay, then you need to go for the next value 3. So 3 is 1 2 3. That means any point having x is 0, that point is lying on the y axis. That means 0 comma 3, this point will be lying on y axis. So it is clear that is if x equals to 0, then that point will be lying on y axis. Now what will happen for this one? So first is 3, 1 2 3, we have counted for the value of x, but you cannot count the value of y because it is 0. So the value of x is 3, 1 2 3, we have counted the x, but you cannot count the value of y because it is 0. So this point will be here. That means if any value having y is 0, that means that point is lying on x axis, not in any quadrant. Such kind of point, if x 0 or y 0, such kind of point will not lie in any quadrant. That point will be lying on the either x axis or in the y axis. We are now at the end of our class. Last topic we will discuss now. Now before going to the last thing, have a look to the figure. See, I have located a point 2 comma 3. 2 comma 3 both are positive, so this point is lying on the first quadrant. You see, first how do we look at any point that you know? 2 comma 3. So how do we count? 1, because it is 0 in the origin, 1 2, then the value of x is counted, now value of y, that is 3. So first 2, 1 2, then 1 2 3. So the point is represented. Now the value of x, the value of x is what? X equals to 2, y equals to 3. Now what does actually x equals to 2? You see, x equals to 2 means ultimately the point is here. The point is you see how much this distance is? This distance is, this much is 2 and this much is 3. That means the point is, it is 2, so it is also 2. So the point is, you can say, in another word you can say, the point is 2 unit away from y axis. You see, 1 2, that means this is the y axis, this is the y axis, and the point is here. This much is, you see, this much is 2, this much is 2, so this is also 2. That means the point is here, so the point is 2 unit away from y-axis. This much is, since this much is 2, so the point is 2 unit away from y-axis, and this much is how much, 3, so the point is 3 unit away from x-axis. So x equals to 2 means the point is, you can say, distance from x equals to 2 means this much is 2, so 2, the point is 2 unit away from y-axis, so that means we can say distance from y-axis. Sorry for the interruption. So x equals to 2, what does it mean? X equals to 2 means the point is, this is 2, that means the point is 2 unit away from y-axis, that means distance from y-axis. And y equals to 3 means this much is 3, this much is 3, 3 means this is the point is 3 unit, that means distance from, this much is 3, that means distance from x-axis. So actually x equals to 2, the value of x, it is the distance from y-axis. See, this much is 2, that means distance from y-axis, and this much is 3, that means distance from y-axis, and that is also known as abscissa and ordinate. What does abscissa means? Abscissa means the value of x. In another word, you can say abscissa means the value of x, and the value of x means what? See, x equals to 2, so x equals to 2 means distance from, the point is 2 unit away from y-axis. So abscissa means, you can say, the value of x, or you can say distance from y-axis, and ordinate means the value of y, or another word you can say distance from x-axis. So this is how this is about abscissa and ordinate. And along with abscissa or ordinate and the axis, both the axis, x-axis and y-axis, with the help of x-axis and y-axis, this is all about called Cartesian plane. This is all about called Cartesian plane. Okay, so in our today's class, what we have discussed, I'm summarizing the whole matter. We have given first we have given some idea about coordinate geometry. We have also discussed about how who have first given the idea, or who has first discovered about coordinate geometry. We have studied about the two axes of coordinate geometry, that is x-axis and y-axis. We have discussed about quadrant. We have discussed about abscissa and ordinate, and lastly we have discussed about Cartesian plane. Again, I'm telling about Cartesian plane. About this is the two axes, x-axis, y-axis, the horizontal line and the vertical line, the x-axis and y-axis, and each part is known as a quadrant. Along with quadrant and axis, that is known as a Cartesian plane. Now lastly we are discussing, although we have discussed earlier, then also I'm discussing how to locate a point in a Cartesian plane. How to locate a point. Suppose you have been given a point 3, -5. 3, -5. So abscissa is 3, ordinate is -5. So just I'm giving a rough, since I am not using the graph paper here, so I can just only giving a rough idea. So first it is 3, positive, x is positive, so positive means you will go this way. Okay, then it is -5, so -5 means y, the value of y is negative. Negative means you will go downwards. That means you will count, similarly you will count in this way, you will count 5, and finally you will get the point. That means 3, minus will be somewhere in the 4th quadrant. Suppose you have -2, -5, -2, so the value of x is 2, or you can say abscissa is -2. So abscissa is -2 means 1, 2 is negative, so it's x dash. Then 5, positive 5. So positive 5 means you will go upwards. So you will count 1 2 3 4 5. That means minus 2 comma 5 will be somewhere in the second quadrant. So it is very easy when you will be using the graph paper. Graph paper you need not to do in the graph paper. There are small square divisions are there. So graph paper will automatically find out. Just you need to write down. You need to draw the two axes, and automatically the point will come out. So this is all about today's class. If you love my class, if you understand my class, so definitely don't forget to give feedback, obviously. And if anything means missed out in the discussion, please mention me, please write to me, so that I can explain better. I can explain the missed out matter also. Thank you.